Good evening, and thank you for joining us today, Mr. Ayman Al-Wadi, Group Chairman of AW Holding. Mr. Ayman, of course, this event would not have been possible without the amazing support that you have, referring sponsors, delegates, speakers, you being from the industry, of course. Your help was absolutely amazing. Thank you very much for joining us. Of course, AW Holding is an exclusive debt management partner here for Collections and Recovery Summit Arabia 2024 in Riyadh. Mr. Ayman, how was the event? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed the event, and let us know, what do you think? How was the event? How was the overall participations, the representation of AW Holding, the audience, the discussions, the panels, the keynotes?
Great. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Ayman Al-Wadi, Group Executive Chairman of AW Holding, a partner in Collection and Recovery Summit. The first edition in Dubai was something we still remember. Each movement and each memory and each talk we had. We kept working together along with you, Jamal, and it is from the day we finished that edition 1 today, the edition 2 in Riyadh. And no wonder now we start even working in the 3rd edition, and we will keep the city but secret. So yes, it is something amazing, something the history will write. We putting all competitors together under one roof. We had a lot of arguments, like how you guys put such. But in the fit, in the first end of the first day, it can tell that it was like wise. We start seeing actually debt collectors talking to each other, exchanging experience to each other. There is much. We are really like happy with that. Yes, your man.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Mr. Ayman. I wanted to ask you to introduce yourself. So if you introduce yourself, the chairman, group executive chairman of AW Holding International, of course, with its marketplaces in AW UAE, AW KSA here in Saudi Arabia, AW in Oman, Sultanate of Oman, AW Egypt, and AW cross-border centers across more than 150 countries, with the past 13 plus years of experience in international market, along with a portfolio of industry leading businesses with over 26 years of experience, and invented its own innovative debt collection supply chain.
Fine. So it is a successful story, started from Dubai to Sharjah to Abu Dhabi, where we starting AW UAE, going further to AW Oman, going further to AW KSA, going further to AW Egypt. And let me tell you that in July, I'll be completing 27 years in this industry.
Wow.
And last 13 years, we created something called AW CBC, AW Cross Border Center, a bridge and a solution in 150 countries. And in all these marketplaces, what we have done, we innovated from collection to settlement, and from legal to supply chain. So we put some clear, straightforward supply chain, starting with debt collection, legal debt collection, cross-border debt collection, before that business advisory, risk management, and after that credit risk advisory. So this is the whole all about inside.
Wonderful, wonderful. This is really great. Thank you, Mr. Ayman. I wanted to have the second question. What do you think of debt collection outlook in Saudi Arabia, and how AW Holding KSA is going to contribute to the Saudi economy?
If you look at the great session we had today, I remember I referred more than 10 to 15 times a figure, which is 27 trillion real government investment in 10 years, equivalent to the investment for past 300 years. You know what this means? Means there is much need to those projects when it will come to the credit risk,
Yeah.
managing its risk, how to give the credit, when to call back the credit, how much the credit is.
Yeah.
We are in a great support to the vision of supporting the corporates
Yeah.
and the economy at the same time. Thank you.
Right, perfect. It definitely looks prosperous, and of course, Saudi Arabia is a very promising market from that perspective. Thank you very much. I wanted to see about AW KSA being your gateway to the Saudi market, and like you mentioned, capitalizing on the 27 trillion rial investment. What you offer is global network access to international partners and the best practices for broader reach and recovery solutions, right? So these are some of the things you mentioned.
Yes, indeed.
Beautiful. The third question, Mr. Ayman, I have, and the last one, thank you for being with us here today.
Pleasure.
You mentioned disrupting the debt collection landscape in your panel today. It was a beautiful panel, the most powerful panel, I have to admit. But you mentioned disrupting the debt collection landscape in your panel today. Can you tell us more about it and what you think about the summit?
The summit as a second edition, it is such a successful, not event.
Yeah.
And we changing the roadmap and we changing the landscape of the debt collection industry in the whole GCC.
Yeah.
We choose in Saudi Arabia, there are much new regulations and much supply and demand and that.
Right.
The panel, I kept working hard to make it a bit different than any other event, starting from the data and how much the data information important before giving the credit and at the time of the default and for all the relevant risk side.
Right.
We talked, we brought an innovation out of the box B2C banking collection with extraordinary solutions.
Yeah.
We brought from Turkey an experience, life experience, why and why not.
Right.
And we have the last translate before we land in the last destination with Oman Credit,
Yeah.
giving us an outlook of something no one had looked at yet. What is the size of the export credit agency and the whole GCC, and how much collection and recovery summit and its community should add value to that. And we landed, if you remember, with our global partner EOS. They attended virtually, but it was like amazing to explain the compliance and the risk and the threat when you start dealing in international level.
Absolutely. I've heard the speech of Mr. Stephen from EOS in Germany, and like you said, the data, the facts and figures that were mentioned were absolutely amazing. And I wish you the best, Mr. Ayman. AW Holding definitely has a great footprint in the GCC. If anybody wants to know about AW Holding, you can visit their website to know more. Mr. Ayman Al-Wadi, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much, and wait the third edition.
Thank you very much.